Hello, it's April. I'm the founder of the Love and Loss Project and the creator of the Baby Loss Survival Guide. For those of you who don't know me, I'm sharing with you a few ideas today about that concept of how do you not care about what other people think. Because this is something that I've heard from quite a number of clients and something that I've experienced my own self at different points in time, right? When something has hurt me, when I'm feeling like I'm really not being understood, when I feel like I'm not being judged, when I'm being judged, or that people just don't get it. And I think when we're forced to go through this devastation of losing our little babies, we suddenly become surrounded by strangers, colleagues, friends, family, who really just don't get it. And that can end up feeling really crazy making, right? Because not only do we have to go through all of our own whirlwind of emotion and suffering and pain and self-doubt, but that self-doubt gets magnified and amped up by about 1,000 when we kind of encounter these interactions with people that seem to kind of say to us either directly, right? Like, shouldn't you move on by now? Aren't you already over this, right? And minimize your loss in these ways, or push back on you when you're trying to set a boundary, like opting out of going to a baby shower or taking some time off from work. And you can be surrounded by people who end up either overtly or covertly sending you the message that what you're doing is not okay and that you just aren't doing this well, and somehow the bottom line problem right now is you. So yes, it reminds me of, I was having a conversation with one of my clients recently, and she was saying, I'm just going to work harder on not caring what people think. That's my new goal. And I was like, oh, you know what? I so respect where that desire comes from, because I've definitely craved that myself. That if there was just some way that we could turn off that switch, then essentially we'd be able to just get a little bit more peace and a little bit more grounding in some of this. If I could just turn off that part of me that is so wounded and so hurt when I'm surrounded by or encounter somebody who basically tells me I'm wrong to feel the way I feel, or minimizes my loss, or says something really insensitive or hurtful. Because here's kind of the hitch of this. I don't believe it's actually possible to not care what other people think. The only people in this world who do not care what other people think literally are the textbook DSM-5 definition of psychopaths, right? They really have no empathy for what somebody else and no ability to truly connect and feel that interaction of somebody else's thoughts or emotions. And so when we really kind of step back and look at this, that's not a realistic goal, even though that's something that a lot of well-meaning friends and family say to each other, right? We've all been there when we're having a conversation with our friend and she's telling us that somebody has hurt us or upset us, and we all just go, who cares what she thinks? I don't even care what she thinks, right? Forget her. I don't even care. And what I would suggest that we're doing in these moments, and I've definitely been there myself, is we're trying to armor up, right? We're trying to kind of create a bit of shield so that it doesn't hurt so much when we're judged or critiqued or offended. And the reality is, it just hurts. So here's what I believe actually makes it hurt a whole lot less. The goal is not, how do I care what somebody else thinks? The goal, the bigger goal, the more useful goal becomes, how do you care more about what you think than what they think? How do you care more about what you think than what they think? Because when we lean into that place, When we lean into that goal, I believe that that gives us so much more power than running around trying to deactivate this built-in human response, right? We are social creatures. We are empathetic creatures. The only time that we're not empathetic creatures is when something has gone very wrong, right, at that synapse level. So rather than try to deactivate caring what other people think, can you allow yourself to consider this radical idea of caring about what you think even more? Because that is the most important piece here. And so one of the ways that really helps me to untangle these things when I'm triggered, because I do believe that these things are lifelong, right? That it kind of circles around and around, and we have to continually work at this because this is hard stuff. So one of the things that helps me in those moments when I am really triggered or feeling reactive or feeling like it's not okay to feel the way that I feel in a certain situation, I try to connect to my own bottom line faster. So it's not that I don't care what they think, it's what do I think really? Because when I get solid on that, their reaction, while that may still matter to me, it doesn't become all powerful. It doesn't totally wipe me out to shore where I become lost and disoriented in these ways. So here's my thing for you. When you're triggered, when somebody gives you the message that what you're doing is not right, that you don't have the right to feel the way you feel, that what you feel is wrong or stupid or misguided, that you should be moved on by now, that you should be more willing to come and join into the activities that they want you to do, whatever these things are that you get judgment on. Can you allow yourself to step back and really get pen and paper and start to write it out? But what do I believe? What would I say to my friend if this was her going through this and not me? And for me, this big kind of piece that lets me untangle some of this is when I ask myself this hard question. Am I operating from a place of fear or love? Because this is how I intertwine caring what I think and caring about what somebody else thinks. Am I operating from a place of love or fear? Because when I'm in this fearful place, I feel shaky, I feel stressed, I feel like I am almost desperate for them to get them to understand what I'm feeling, right? Which is totally just being afraid of what they think, being afraid that in their eyes, I look stupid, I'm not likable, I'm wrong. But when I go to this place, what do I think? What do I believe? When I really step back and look at the situation, what do I believe? Okay, then I'm able to say, if I'm operating from a place of love, then I can be respectful and a little bit more compassionate to them, but I can also be respectful to myself. I can think about what allows me to move into almost more of a win-win scenario. Because when I'm in fear, it feels like I'm losing, right? It feels like I am at risk of getting trampled on, right? But when I move to this place of what would love look like? Love for myself, love for this other person. Okay, in those moments, I don't feel desperate to hustle for their understanding, which really is seeking approval and seeking permission. So my question for you right now is, whose permission have you been looking for right now? Whose approval and permission to grieve wholly have you been hustling for? Have you been looking for? Have you been aching for? And instead, can you flip this around? What would this look like if I honored and respected that I feel what I feel? Because I believe that our emotions are our compass. Our emotions give us signals about what we need and what matters. And so when we move from this place of love, I can treat both my need for whatever this is that I need in this moment, my emotion as being important, And that allows me to not turn the other person into a bad guy, right? Which is sometimes I think what I've seen a lot of people do, and what I've probably done myself at various points in time too, right? Because this stuff is hard and it's triggering. And when we get triggered, we want to like instantly protect ourselves. And one of the ways that we protect ourselves is we kind of get into this thing of, it becomes this crazy making ping pong ball between maybe I'm wrong, maybe she's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I need to be more flexible. Maybe I need to be more easygoing. Maybe I'm being too demanding here. Maybe I have a blind spot. And then we kind of bounce from that really quickly into like, no, like she's out of line, right? She's being mean. In fact, she's always mean, right? We kind of go into these whole kind of ping pong ball, agonizing, dramatic, stressful kind of moments. So take a breath. And pull yourself back to, how do I care about what I think more? Which means I'm not going to trample on anybody else, but I'm also going to honor what I need for me. And so I hope that's helpful for you today. I just want to share that a little bit with you. And I also want to invite you to come Thursday, this Thursday, March 8th. I'm doing a virtual mini retreat. This is totally free to come to. This is going to be experiential self-care. I'm going to make this really easy, really gentle, but also really practical and effective, as I'm going to be guiding you through 3 really important ways to help you start to feel a little bit more like yourself again, as everything has been ripped apart. Because I definitely understand that feeling of everything being ripped apart, and when it's almost like it's so hard to tell, even top from bottom, side to side, right? We are just totally turned upside down and lost. And so that's what I'm focusing on this Thursday. It's going to be 10 a.m. at Central Europe time, which is 8 p.m. if you're in Australia. And you can join. I'll include the link here. But if you're on my email address, you'll also see that there, and you'll see the registration page to join. How it works is you just register, and then I send you the link to our private closed gathering space, which allows us to talk together a little bit more intimately, where we can see each other face to face, although you can also click your camera off if you'd like to just kind of hang out quietly and listen, and then you're more than welcome to do that too. But this is also an opportunity to ask questions with me live, where I can give you my direct response and to be with you in this. So this is what I'm offering Thursday, March 8th at 10 a.m. Central Europe time. I hope that you guys can make it, and I will see you there. And if you found this video helpful, then please let me know. All right, see you guys. Take care.